On May 27th, Gavin Newsom signed legislation to block a federal audit of the votes. Even though LA's population has decreased significantly since the last primary election in 2022, somehow LA is expecting 35% more votes this time around. On one of the late-night ballot drops, Spencer Pratt got 0 out of the 24,000 votes. Based on the fact that Spencer Pratt had over 30% of the votes at this time, Grok says that the statistical probability that he received 0 of those 24,000 votes is 1 in a trillion.
So everybody online is arguing about whether Spencer Pratt got robbed. But I think the bigger question is this. Why does California have a system where so many people instantly believe a robbery is even possible? That's the part I don't hear anybody talking about. Because as I've said many times before, this was never about Spencer Pratt. This was about what happens when an outsider gets too close to a system that was never designed for outsiders to win. In California, you're not just running against another candidate. No, you're running against the media, the unions. You're running against the consulting class. You're running against the nonprofit machine. You're running against the contractors. You're running against the donors. You're running against people who have been eating off this system for decades. So when somebody like Spencer Pratt comes in and starts talking that talk, disturbing that power, it doesn't just threaten an election, it threatens access, money, threatens secrets, and most importantly, it threatens exposure. Because if an outsider might actually, if an outsider actually gets in, people might start asking questions they were never supposed to ask. Questions they never even knew to ask. Like, where's the money going? Why is everything so expensive? Why do we keep voting for change and getting the exact same results? Why does every problem in California somehow turn into another billion-dollar program? That's why the Spencer Pratt situation matters, not because he is a celebrity. No. Not because he's perfect. Who is? Not because he has all the answers. Who does? But because his campaign exposed how scared the machine gets when somebody outside the club gets too close. So before people argue about whether this race was stolen, they need to ask a deeper question. Why does the system look so suspicious in the first place? Huh?
So I'm not even upset about the LA election. I expected this to happen. That's where we're at. You just expect an election to be rigged. And maybe this has to go all the way. I saw these people this morning, like kind of gleeful about what was happening. And I'm just looking at them and I'm like, these people are too dumb to reason with. And maybe this just has to go all the way so that the consequences are so severe for regular people that they're the only possibility for change or an awakening is for these really dumb captured people, for their lives to get so bad and so personally endangered that they might start questioning things.
You know, people keep asking why California is so expensive. They never ask the real question. Who benefits from it being so expensive? Because California is not expensive because the streets are paved in gold. Look around. Look around. The streets are broken. Sidewalks are filthy, lowerable. The lights don't work most of the time. The homeless crisis keeps growing and growing and growing. The roads are cracked. But the taxes keep going up. The fees keep going up. The rent keeps going up. The cost of living keeps going up. But somehow the quality of life keeps going down. So where's the money going? That's the question the political machine doesn't want regular people asking. They don't want us asking that. Because when your tax money enters the system, it doesn't just go straight into fixing problems. No, it goes through layers. It goes through consultants. It goes through a bunch of studies, a bunch of nonprofits, a bunch of contractors, subcontractors, administrative costs, political friends, connected organizations. And by the time the money reaches the actual problem, somehow the problem still looks exactly the same. That's not an accident. That's a business model. This is why homelessness never gets solved. This is why housing never becomes affordable. This is why construction costs explode. This is why every government project costs more than it should. And this is why Politicians can stand in front of cameras, pretend to care, and then blame the next crisis on needing even more money. They're not spending their money. They're spending your money. And when the results fail, they still get paid. The contractors still get paid. The consultants still get paid. The nonprofits profit. They still get paid. The politicians, they get really, really paid. They get donations. And the people, us, you, me, we're left with the bill. So when an outsider comes in and says, hold on, what's going on here? That's dangerous to the system, very, very dangerous to the system, because now people might stop fighting over personalities and start following the money. And once people start following the money, the whole California machine starts looking very, very, very different.
Retired fire captain here. All right, you know what just happened? Take a guess. Spencer Pratt dropped to third place in this LA mayoral race. How does this happen? Nidhi Raman was crying and conceded the election, and now she's in second place. People, are you that naive and that ignorant and that stupid to know what's going on? Come on, someone's got to do something. Someone's got to step up and stop this. For our children, our grandchildren, for the people of LA, and for the government, and so we can have a nation and we can have freedom. This is absolutely ridiculous.
The reason this system survives is not just politics. This system survives because of media protection. See, in California, the media does not act like a watchdog. A lot of time, it acts like security guard for the machine. They tell you which candidates are serious. They tell you which candidates are dangerous. They tell you which questions are conspiracy theories. They tell you which scandals matter and which scandals to ignore. And when regular people start noticing that, noticing something that doesn't look right, the media steps in and says, don't believe your lying eyes. Are you crazy? See, that's how the velvet glove works. They don't always silence you with force. No, they shame you. They mock you. They label you. They make you feel stupid for asking obvious questions. Why does it take so long to count these ballots? Are you stupid? Why do insiders always seem to benefit? Why do the same politicians keep failing upward? Why do people who make a few $100,000 a year somehow become incredibly wealthy while the cities they manage fall apart? Why does every crisis create more funding, never know more results? These are normal questions. The machine does not want you asking normal questions. It wants emotional voters. It wants distracted voters. It wants voters arguing over identity, over slogans, over festivals, over celebrities, over party loyalty. Because as long as people are distracted by performance, they never look at the operation. And that is what the Spencer Pratt situation exposed. It exposed how little trust people have left. It exposed how fast people now assume corruption. It exposed how many Californians feel like the system is already decided before they ever even vote. So whether Spencer Pratt makes it through or not, the damage has already been done. Damage has already been done. The machine has been seen with those who have eyes to see. And once people see the machine, they cannot unsee it. That's why this moment matters. This is a very special, very unique moment. This is not just about Spencer Pratt. This is about California. California. This is about Los Angeles. I love LA. This is about where the regular people are finally ready to stop clapping for the same system that keeps robbing them with a smile on their face. So yes, everybody can argue about the ballots. Everybody can argue about the count. Everybody can argue about Spencer Pratt, Nithya Raman, Karen Bass, and the mayoral race. But the bigger issue is this. California has created a system where the public no longer trusts the people counting the votes, spending the money, reporting the news, or managing the crisis. That's not a small problem. That's a legitimacy problem. Once a government loses legitimacy in the eye of the regular people, you and me, no amount of media spin can fix it. The Spencer Pratt situation did not create this distrust. It just revealed it. And the real question now is simple. Are people going to complain for another few days and move on? Or are they finally going to stay on this machine until it breaks?